Dear Speak Up readers, welcome. We are going to talk today about the Met Gala. We have Central St. Martin's graduate here. This is one of the best fashion schools in the world. It's a university in London. And we're going to discuss with her a little bit about this gala, which is kind of like the Oscars for the fashion world, right? So, what is the Met Gala? It was first introduced in 1948 as a sort of midnight supper. And basically, the red carpet that kind of sprung from it raises money for the Met Costume Institute. And, throughout the years, Vogue magazine has been the great sort of organizer of this event, led by Anna Wintour. Um, and yeah, so this is basically what it works, how it works. And, the guests are just incredibly famous. And this is what makes it such a, well known and widely covered event by all sorts of media, especially media that center around celebrity and culture and obviously fashion. So with this introduction, Laura, thank you so much for being here. Laura Magro is,
Thank you
like
for
I said,
having me.
Central St. Martin's graduate, so her opinion is quite relevant on this topic.
Well, thanks for having me again. And yeah, I think we can just introduce sort of this year's theme. For those who don't know, every year the Met Gala has a different theme according to the main exhibition. This year's exhibition is Karl Lagerfeld, A Line of Beauty, in honor of the late Karl Lagerfeld, who was a fashion designer, photographer, creative director, and just artist. And for those who may not be too familiar with Karl Lagerfeld, he was the creative director and head fashion designer of Chanel, which I think it's a house that everybody knows or at least connects. And he was the fashion director of Chanel since the 80s, but he was also the director of his own brand. And he has worked and collaborated with other very important fashion houses such as Balmain, Patou, Chloe, and Fendi. So he's such a big name in the fashion world nowadays. So what can we expect in this this year's Met Gala? Well, personally, I think we can expect a lot of like tributes to Chanel, which was mainly was his main source of fame in that sense. But I feel like I would be very interested to like see how other brands play with such aesthetics and sort of reinterpret that. I think that would be very interesting. But also, like he's also very famous for having a rivalry with another very big fashion designer and fashion house, Yves Saint Laurent. So I think that would also be very interesting because as well, Yves Saint Laurent is one of the invited fashion houses to this event. So that would be very interesting to see how they play with that. Um, so yeah.
That sounds very interesting. I can't wait to see. And, I was wondering, what are your thoughts on the people that are co-chairing the event this year? Because basically, there's always this list of people that are announced that are gonna sort of, host the event. One of them is Penelope Cruz for
Yes.
2023, who I absolutely adore. Um, and yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you have a
So
favorite in this list? What do you think?
yeah. So Penelope Cruz, I think, was someone to be expected because she has been the face of Chanel for some years now. So she obviously knows a lot about like Karl Lagerfeld's style, and she's definitely a public persona that's quite related to his aesthetics, definitely. Um, because she's also known for wearing Chanel and also Chloe, but is it in the sort of line? So that's interesting. And I believe there's also Dua Lipa, who is coming back to the Met Gala, and she has had some of like the most interesting looks in this gala for the past few years. She always like plays it very well, so that would be very interesting as well. But what are your thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm quite interested in seeing how they kind of bring up basically the feminist takes that they are kind of adopting at Chanel. I think they are trying to kind of cater to a female kind of independent cultured public, because I think with women like Penelope Cruz or Keira Knightley, Charlotte Casiraghi, Kristen Stewart, like I feel like they're trying to craft a brand of cultured, intelligent women that I think can go in different ways. I'm just interested to see how they kind of how they choose to go about that within a Met Gala context. Um, I just feel like it could be quite an interesting link also to Dua Lipa, who I really admire because she's someone that obviously is involved in kind of a lot of different causes. But yeah, again, this is about fashion, right? And I kind of love how she just dresses. So there's kind of a mix between what these women kind of represent in 2023, either good or bad or both. Um, but also how they dress, right? I feel like it's funny how kind of everything can come together, and like the deep and the superficial just kind of exist simultaneously. And I feel like the Met Gala is a place that kind of embodies that a little bit, right? Because we see all of these kind of magnificent dresses that are like centered around a theme. At the same time, it can also be argued that it is a kind of more frivolous event, right? Quite literally, in terms of the focus on clothes, right? We have to question what that's about. But yeah, I just feel like all of that. I wanna see how they deal with it, given the theme of Karl Lagerfeld.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that, like, I do see how, like, Met Gala sometimes can be seen in the light of being a frivolous event, but I feel like in comparison with any other sort of like um event in terms of like, celebrity-led event, I think as well this is one of the most interesting in terms of like arts and arts direction. And in that line, I'm also very interested and intrigued to know, because Karl Lagerfeld, he's also well known for like sort of revolutioning the world, like the catwalk. His art direction in terms of like his fashion shows was something that has never been seen, and I don't think can be compared to anything or anyone's else. And so I think that's also like a lot to like there's a lot to play in that sense. So for me, the Met Gala is not only a fashion event, which in the end it is, but it is, it's like a great like costume ball, right? It's like it's people have like an opportunity, or like fashion houses, to really explore it and like play with a lot of different elements that they can't really play with in any other sort of fashion or like a celebrity-led event. Um, so I don't know. I'm really looking forward.
Yeah, me too. And I also wanted to talk about kind of what are your top dresses, because for Speak Up, I have actually, helped make a selection of looks that I find especially exciting, that I would love to wear, right? And so here's a few of them, right? One of
Yeah.
them, of course, is Blake Lively in 2018. The theme, I think, is my favorite theme that I've
Yeah.
seen. Heavenly Bodies, the Catholic Imagination. I just became obsessed with it. Like, but it was so beautiful. Um, then this dress from Claire Danes, which basically seems like Cinderella. This one from 1995, Naomi Campbell. I just can't stop thinking about. Like it looks like the dress from The Little Mermaid from Disney in the
Yeah.
last scene
Yeah.
when she
Yeah.
like runs towards like her lover and like her dad like magically builds up this just glittering shiny dress around her, and it just shines so much, and I just kind of love that. Um, and then there was Bella Hadid in 2017, who I thought was so sexy. I just loved this look, and I just love her. So that also what's up. And Emily Ratajkowski, who I also adore. And this dress, I mean, it was so romantic, so gorgeous. That red color, just really beautiful. Her hair, like, it just, I thought it was beautiful. This was 2021, so very recent. Um, and yeah, and these women are pretty cool in general. And I don't know, I just loved how they kind of embodied, I guess, a part like something of what they represent in those dresses. And yeah, gosh, I would love to wear them. you know, what are your favorites?
I think I want to like there's a few dresses there that I feel like I really like as well, especially just in general Blake Lively in any Met Gala. I think she's pretty much the mother of the Met Gala. Like she always um, like makes the best like decisions in terms of the Met Gala. She always adjusts to the theme quite well. She understands, like, it feels like she studies it. She knows what she's doing. And especially, I mean, Heavenly Bodies was also one of my favorites Met Galas. So I feel like I have a few looks from there. But I feel like I've made a list. So for me, the top one was 2019 Lady Gaga for the camp theme, because she nailed it. I feel
Yes,
like
this is it, by the way.
this one, yeah. So like, camp as a theme was very broad because camp can mean so many things. It means just extravagance and over the topness and all of these like very tacky and intrinsic ideas. And so I think Lady Gaga, like she made a spectacle. Um, she showed up to the red carpet. She changed. She had like it was four outfit changes, different layers to the dress. She would like take pictures in between each like change of dress, and then she had like all of this like she made like this persona for the Met Gala, and I think that's also what the Met Gala is about. It's kind of a spectacle, like a costume, and I think she nailed it. And then I think one of my second favorites is also from the Heavenly Bodies Met Gala, but it was Zendaya because she showed up as Joan of Arc.
Yes.
And I can't like every time I think of Joan of Arc now, I think of Zendaya. It was beautiful because it felt like an armor. It felt like Joan of Arc, but it was also a piece of fashion. Like you could see there was a lot of like work in the dress, bedazzling. It was very beautiful. And I kind of felt like I wanted to wear this armor myself. So that was really, really, really nice. Then I think, yeah. from the camp Met Gala, which obviously had a lot of incredible looks because it was so open. But my second favorite from that Met Gala was probably Billy Porter. And there are many reasons why I chose him. But it's first of all, like in these sorts of events, you don't see a lot of men dressing up. The focus is always on women. And he's one of the men who always like shows up and dresses up. And in this occasion, he showed up as the sun god, like Egyptian sun god. And as well, he was not dressed by any particular brand. It was a costume made ensemble of things. So he wasn't really sponsored by any brand. And he showed up in like with four other men carrying him, like all dressed in gold. So for me, that was quite iconic as a moment, as a visual moment. Um, then my fourth favorite was when Lana Del Rey and Jared Leto showed up in Gucci, and it was also for Heavenly Bodies, and they showed up, especially like Lana. She looked like Virgin Mary, like La Dolorosa, with like the heart and the swords, and she had like some angel like feathered tiara, and that was such a beautiful look. And Jared Leto sort of matched her. Um, he has such a like his face sort of looks like that of like Jesus Christ. So he had like this whole like suit as well. And it was quite a beautiful image to like see in the Met Gala. And as well, I feel like with Blake Lively, Jared Leto is one of those celebrities that always does it well. So that was really nice to see. And my last favorite, my last one was last year's Bad Bunny. He's a Puerto Rican rapper and celebrity. And he was dressed by Burberry. And he decided, so last year's theme was Gilded Glamour, which made reference to like late 19th century American, like North American fashion. And not a lot of people, like this theme had a lot of controversy because not a lot of people fully understood the theme. But suddenly, like Bad Bunny, who's this Puerto Rican artist, showed up in like a perfect like women's attire, sort of with modern references, but it was quite well done. And just the fact that like him as a like man appeared in this event for the first time, so well dressed and like in such manner, I find it quite iconic. So I wanted for him to be in my list. So I think that would be it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds amazing. I feel like we have basically confirmed that Heavenly Bodies was our favorite theme.
Yeah.
Everyone should
That
check
was
it
so
out.
beautiful.
It was it was beautiful. And yeah, Joan of Arc. I also really love that one. Maybe because I love Joan of Arc. And Zendaya is beautiful. So yeah, I mean, I agree. Those are wonderful picks. Um, and yeah, so if you guys wanna watch this year's Met Gala, uh, it will basically just be streamed on Vogue magazine's official website. Check out their channels. You know, as long as you have the internet, you will be fine. What's like the kind of timing, Laura? Like, when would you suggest people like tune in? Which day is it on? You know, what's the plan?
So the first gala, it's always the first Monday of May, which is May 1st this year. And you can always see it broadcasted in Vogue's official website. They always broadcast it from there. It starts at 6 p.m. North American time, but you can watch it from all over the world. So yeah, please stay tuned.
Yes, so I hope everyone has their eyes on New York very soon now. And yes, thank you so much for listening to us. We hope you got some fashion-related, celebrity-related vocabulary from this. Laura, thank you so much for giving us your insights. You are great and very fashionable. And yeah, we hope to have you back, and we hope everyone enjoyed the fashion talk.
Thanks for having me.